passes Joyner out of grid number 3. 4 red lights go out. We are racing. Bash ducks to the inside. Tierney tries the outside. It is Britain 1 and 2 because Joyner has snuck into second spot, displacing Nicholas Nielsen, who's been shuffled back to fourth. Juan Correa, a brilliant start by the American from grid number 6. He is now up into position number 3. Hanley leads in the Mad Croc kart from Joyner in the Zanardi kart. Nielsen up the inside of the American. The Dane's gone through. Juan Correa takes him back. He says, no, you're going to have to do better than that, Nicholas. I don't care what team you're driving for. No one outsmarts an American on the opening lap of the race. Juan Correa in third spot. As aggressive as you'd like. It is a Mad Croc from a Zanardi, from an energy kart. Then it is 2 Tony karts. Nielsen and Marcus Armstrong already on the charge. The Kiwi has made up 1 position as they come across the line for the first time. Correa from Nielsen, Armstrong, Casper Roos. Brilliant start by the Dane. He's come from grid 10 to be in position number 6. The Ricky Flynn Motorsport Alonso kart. There's Correa in the black suit driving the energy course kart. Ben Barnacote, the 2012 European champion. There he is in the red and white Birrell Art. He's made a great start to come from 13th to be in 8th. Looks over his shoulder. So they all shuffle on down through. I can tell you Ben Barnacote, who we just spoke about, he did make a good start. Possibly it was too good because he is under investigation. There he is, the red and white Birrell Art with the yellow helmet, currently in position number 8. This is the fight for the lead. Tom Joyner's closed right up on his countryman. This is the end of lap number 2. Hanley looks over his shoulder. His countryman Tom Joyner is right there. He's in the slipstream now. Just adjust the carburetor on that engine. Of course, Joyner using the TM. Hanley also using the TM, we should point out. The Vega tyre is now comfortably up to temperature despite it being no more than 15 degrees here in Kristianstad. They smash over the ripple strips through the chicane. Nielsen in the Tony kart now, past the American into position number 3. We've got a change for the lead though, because Joyner tries it on for the lead. Henley looks over the shoulder and says, no, I'm the leader. You're going to have to do better than that. Joyner's going to try again, and Nielsen is going to get involved. This is the championship on the line. Nielsen cannot win the title if the 2 Brits finish in front of him. This is the end of lap number 3. Nielsen thought about it. Into the hairpin, he's going to be in the slipstream of Tom Joyner. Up the start finish straight at 118 kilometres an hour. Nielsen pulls out into turn 1. Joyner shuts the door down through the turn 2, turn 3 chicane. Into the hairpin. Watch Nielsen. Here he comes. The Dane for the Tony kart is now in position number 2 and flying over the ripple strip. Armstrong is now 4th. This is better from the Kiwi. He's had a wretched run throughout most of 2015. Despite finishing on the podium to his teammate Nielsen, the Winter Cup in Garda. That was back in February where it wasn't much warmer now than it was then. So Tony Kart's a 2nd and 4th. It is the Mad Croc, the MC01, the team run by the very experienced Armando Fellini. This is the first year for this new project. Nielsen in 2nd spot. He's got a tremendous run out of that final corner. Henley knows it. He can hear that Vortex engine coming. We look at the replay. This is Nielsen on the inside of Joyner, who simply had to let him through. He couldn't fight back and take a high line. The track here at Kristianstad is too narrow. Nicholas Nielsen, fastest qualifier on Friday night, is in position number 2, right on the tail of your leader, Ben Henley. He's driving defensively now, down the middle of the track. Nielsen over his shoulder. Hanley has to block him. That Tony kart is absolutely flying. Hanley, he will be able to hear that Vortex engine as we look at the virtual championship. This is as they stand right now. Nielsen really cannot win it if Hanley and Joyner finish. Hanley knows it. Will he shoot for a race win or the overall championship win? Watch Nielsen into turn 1. He's in the slipstream. He's not close enough this time. Follows the Brit through. This allows Joyner to catch up. Look at Marcus Armstrong. He has come from the clouds. Speaking of which, look at Nicholas Nielsen. We have a new leader here in Kristianstad. The Tony kart is into the lead. Watch out for Marcus Armstrong in position number 4. He's on the tail of Tom Joyner. Joyner has a look at Henley. Armstrong in fourth's going to get a run on Joyner now. Watch the Kiwi. Joyner knows he's there. He blocks the inside. Well, Nicholas Nielsen is not yet running away with this as Marcus Armstrong. Well, that was going on. He's gone through into position number 3. Tony Cart's first and third. The Mad Croc is second. The Zanardi of Joyner for Stracker Biotech is now back to fourth. That will secure in the Virtual Championship Henley the 2015 title, but he has not given up on a race win here today. Armstrong, he rolled that go-kart yesterday. He had 100 kilos land on him at 70 kilometres an hour. Most people would have been in hospital. This tough young Kiwi is back out racing. What's more, he is third in this, the European Championship final. That's him with the bright orange helmet. As Nielsen starts to pull out a little bit of a lead over Ben Henley. He still does lead the championship. Nicholas Nielsen might win the day, but he can't win the title from there. That was the move for the lead. Nicholas Nielsen on the inside of the 133 Matt Croc kart. It is the Dane leading the Brit. Then the driver from New Zealand. Henley looks down at that TM engine. Adjusts the fuel flow into the carburetor. The 125cc KF engine. Oh, Nielsen's got a problem, does he? I think Nielsen's got a problem. You saw the arm go up. What on earth has happened there? Nielsen, where is he? He's dropping back through the field. He's now been passed by Joyner. Nielsen, look at him. He's got a problem. He's out of the race. Ben Henley, he's under attack from Marcus Armstrong. Surely not. The Kiwi could win it after crashing in spectacular fashion yesterday. Nicholas Nielsen, though, from nearby Denmark. He's rolling down through the back part of the section. He's lost drive. He's out of the race. He's now back up to speed as we've got a change for the lead. It's Marcus Armstrong. Well, can you believe it? Here comes Marcus. He now leads the championship decider. From Henley and Joyner. No one figured on this. He qualified badly on Friday by his own admission. He was way down in 19th. He was very despondent. We know they're watching him all the way down there in New Zealand where it is early on Monday morning. Marcus Armstrong. Can he be the first Kiwi to win a CIK international event since Wade Cunningham won the World Championship for CRG way back in 2003? Nicholas Nielsen is still circulating. We don't know what on earth has happened to the Dane. He's out of contention for the race win, but he is still circulating. Let's try and pick up his position. He's in 6th. He's just ahead of Felice Tiene, who's made a good start, but he's down in 7th and will not take the title from there. We watch the two Britons across the line. That is Henley and Joyner. Joyner right behind Ben Henley, takes a title line. Oh, they're side by side through the chicane. They touch. They have touched and lost themselves a position. Hannes Janka, the German in the CRG, is now into 2nd. The two Brits went side by side into the chicane. You saw smoke come off the tyres. That was just sensational. Two of the best racing drivers in the world went side by side through turn number 2 and 3. The German Hannes Janka says, I'll let you go ahead. I'm going to put my TB Motorsport CRG, powered by the Perilla, up into 2nd spot and on the podium. But Ben Henley still leads the championship from there. Marcus Armstrong, this has been a sensation. He led by 0.3 of a second last time round. He now leads by 1.5 seconds. The Kiwi all the way from Christchurch in New Zealand in the 156 Tony Kart. He was absolutely despondent yesterday. He crashed. He only qualified 19th. He's got a 1.5 second lead. The Hannes Janka, but look at that. The Virtual Championship, it is still England 1 and 2, but it's getting tight. There's only 5 points between the two Brits, and it is now Joyner in 3rd spot ahead of Henley. Felice Tiene hangs on to 3rd in the championship. He's 7th on the road, 1 ahead of Carol Bash, Juan Correa and Ben Barnacote. 2012 European champion for Birrell Art rounds out the top 10. Wow, what a race we've got going. Hannes Janka for TB Motorsport. The German, we had Alexander Schmitz from Germany win the final round of the European KZ2 Championship at Genk. in Belgium 2 weeks ago. Could we have a German displace the Kiwi, Marcus Armstrong, and win the KF decider here in Sweden? Well, after the pretty average year Marcus Armstrong has had by his own admission, he will be the most determined driver around this Kristianstad circuit. You can see the lead. He's got the bright orange helmet. He started out of grid number 6. We said watch out for him, but we didn't think he would take the lead after just 8 laps. He's got 1.5 seconds over this battle. That is Janka. Tom Joyner, the 2013 world champion. Benjamin Hanley for Mad Croc. Casper Rose, the Dane. While all that's been going on, he's made his way up into position number 5. There he is in the blue and yellow Alonso kart. Head of the Dutchman, Richard Bashaw. Then it is Felicitiene, Carol Bash, Correa and Barnacote. As we mentioned, rounds out the top 10. The gap remains 1.5 seconds. Fastest second sector last time round to Tom Joyner. Richard Bashaw in the RB Racing Express. He's also putting in some pretty quick times. 51.8 last time for Armstrong. Look at the gap the Kiwi has got. No one would have predicted this. He is leading the championship decider as we come up to exactly half race distance right now. We'll watch the gap next time round. Hannes Janka in the CRG. Hanley, Joyner, Rose. In fact, Rose has now been passed by Richard Bashaw as they come across the line. There's Juan Correa in the energy kart flashing by. Speaking of flashing by, there goes the Kiwi, Marcus Armstrong. The lead has been cut just a 10th. 1.4 seconds now the gap between this man on screen and Hannes Janka from Germany. Ben Henley, the championship leader, trails the German down into the hairpin. We've got 12 laps to go in this, the final round of the European Championships. You are watching us live on CIK-FIA.tv all around the world. Coming to you from Kristianstad in southern Sweden. This is the final corner of the circuit. The gap last time was 1.47 seconds from Armstrong back to Janka. It remains 1.49 seconds, so virtually nothing has changed. But Hannes Janka is going to come under attack any moment, you would think, by the two Britons. But just as we say that, he's pulled out about 3 kart length gap over Ben Hanley. Felicitiene stays in position number 7. There he is, just at the bottom of your screen. There's Bashaw at the trail of this battle. Hanley very, very late under brakes. Well, this is quite sensational. Marcus Armstrong, we mentioned he rolled that go-kart yesterday. He was absolutely despondent. It was bent. They've had to switch back to a kart that was half straight at least. He was really down in the dumps. He's come from grid 6. He came from grid 19 in the pre-finals and finished 6th. He is leading this, the European Championship decider. This would be the biggest win of his career if he can hold on for 10 more laps. The gap remains identical, 1.486 seconds. Fastest driver last time round was Tom Joyner, 51.71. 51.76 for Marcus Armstrong. As Hanley and Joyner, they now go side by side. Here comes Richard Bashaw, the Dutchman, up the inside. He has taken Hanley. Well, if they finish like this, Joyner will go to the Virtual Championship in just a few moments. They would just about be tied on points. Remember, Tom Joyner won the last round of the series at PFI Circuit in England. The sky is getting very grey and overcast. We should also tell you that Nicholas Nielsen has retired from this race. The driver who led early on, he is out. His teammate leads, Marcus Armstrong. And what's more, the gap is now out to 1.6 seconds from Marcus Armstrong to Hannes Janka. That's the Virtual Championship. Hanley, well, he will hold on if he cannot lose any more positions. Felicitiene's next behind him, charging up. He's next in line to take the Brit. Here comes Hanley. Oh, has to lock it up on the back of Bashaw. Bashaw for RB Racing. You can see he was hard on the front wheel discs trying to avoid the Dutchman, who's pulled out about 2 or 3 kart lengths there. They come round. The gap last time between this man, your race leader, Marcus Armstrong, was 1.62 seconds. Back to Hannes Janka. It's 1.7 seconds. The Kiwi is pulling away from the German. Tom Joyner is in position number 3. And Richard Verschoor is charging. Then we go to Ben Henley, who himself, ironically enough, will come under attack from the Italian Felicitiani. As you saw it there, Hannes Janka, 2 wheels up over the ripple strip. He got airborne like a rallycross car. He's in second place. Marcus Armstrong driving brilliantly. As we mentioned, his first year with the TKART racing team. He finished second at the Winter Cup in Italy. In freezing conditions, it's not much warmer here today in Sweden. He rounds the left-hander. This is the final corner of the circuit. 7 laps to go. The conclusion of this corner. Up the start-finish straight, 118 kilometres an hour. Makes an adjustment. That Vortex engine, the gap down to 1.6 seconds. So the German has shaved a 1/10 of a second off. And it's Tom Joyner in third. Richard Verschoor, Ben Henley, Felicitiani, Casper Ruus, Carol Bash, Juan Correa, Martijn van Leeuwen from Holland has now displaced the Brit Ben Barnecoat. Van Leeuwen is now in position number 10. Well, Marcus has travelled further than any other driver to be here this weekend. He's all the way from Christchurch in New Zealand. We know you're watching on down there in NZ. Your boy's doing really well. He's leading this, the championship decider. But as we're saying that, Richard Verschoor, the Dutchman, has now got past Tom Joyner into position number 3. Tom Joyner, he can't win the championship from there. The championship leader is immediately behind him. That's Benjamin Henley. 6 laps remain. The gap, 1.6 seconds. Armstrong to Janka. Richard Verschoor now up on the podium for RB Racing, which may or may not stand for a certain energy drinks company. Over the ripple strips on 2 wheels. That's the very corner where Armstrong rolled it yesterday. This is not his first year racing in Europe. He's done some Rotax racing in the past, but he stepped up to KF with the TKART racing team for 2015, and this would make all that effort worthwhile. He is managed by the 2005 world champion Oliver Oakes, who's watching on in England. Ollie, your boy's doing superbly. He was really down in the dumps. He spoke to you on the phone a couple of nights ago. He's recovered brilliantly. That's the gap. 1.678 seconds to this man, Hannes Janka, TB Motorsport, the Perilla-powered CRG. Richard Verschoor gets that X3 a little bit sideways. He's still in third. This is Janka on screen, number 107. Over the ripple strips in spectacular fashion. Down into the hairpin. 4.5 laps remaining. Well, the Kiwi Daniel Brays picked up some pretty big wins in shifter kart racing in the US over the last few years. Number 2, he's passed the German. Joyner tries to join in. The Dutchman leads the German, then it's the Brit. Ben Henley sits back there in 5. Oh, Tom Joyner! What an aggressive move to retake the bottom step of the podium. Slams that Zanardi kart up the inside. Hannes Janka, he was in second, now he's off the podium. Felicitiani, he's alongside Ben Henley, the 2 championship contenders. Ben Henley actually led him through. He's got his eye on the title. He knows Felicitiani cannot win it from there. He actually waved him through. 2 of the most intelligent kart racing drivers in the world, Felicitiani and Ben Henley, running 5th and 6th on the road. Only one of them will take the title, and that is Ben Henley, if he can just hold on for 2.5 more laps. That is Tierney in the middle of your screen. There's the virtual championship. It hasn't changed. Tierney is not Henley's threat. It is his countryman Tom Joyner. Richard Verschoor now up into 3rd in the virtual championship. Tierney will finish 4th unless he can make up another couple of positions with 2.5 laps remaining. Verschoor goes through. Joyner, he's on the bottom step of the podium. Remember, he's the 2013 world champion. He's driving the Straka Bitech Zanardi kart, powered by the TM. Felicitiani's come on late in the race. He's also racing the KZ2 European Championship for CRG. As they go down through the back part of the circuit for the second last time. Watch Ben Hanley has a think about it. He's not going to take the Italian, but I can tell you in front of us on the start-finish straight, the last lap board is getting ready. The factory Tony Kart driver, he has 1,231 metres to go to take the biggest win of his career as Ben Hanley slides down the inside of Felicitiani. That is your race leader, Marcus Armstrong. The gap remains 1.6 seconds. The driver from Christchurch in New Zealand, the country that has produced more superstar rugby players than it has racing drivers, is about to see their boy win here in Sweden. Richard Verschoor, he's in second place and charging. Tom Joyner is third, but he will finish second in the championship because Ben Hanley has just passed Felicitiani. This is your race leader though. No one is going to catch him. He rolled yesterday. He crashed. He was despondent. Came from 19th to 6th in the pre-final. He came from 6th to lead this, the final. He's 2 corners away from taking the biggest win of his career. The checkered flag comes out. Marcus Armstrong wins in Sweden. The championship decider. The kid from Christchurch, New Zealand, has taken the biggest win of his career. Richard Verschoor, the Dutch...